Walter's words made Doris's heart suddenly tense, and the intense pressure made her feel as though she was about to suffocate. Although she dislikes or even hates Walter's proposal to her, she also understands in her heart that the kidney source that Walter found in the United States is the only kidney source that she knows so far that can match her father's medical credentials. There is nothing else. If this kidney source is really bought by others, then she will completely lose all hope. Doris studied in the United States that year, so she is very clear about the situation in the United States. Though the rule of law is strict, yet there are ways for people to have what they want. All they need is money and resources at disposal. If a person wants to sell his kidney, even in a pet hospital in the United States, he can complete the operation of kidney removal. Everything is very easy. This means that if the donor finds a suitable seller, he can almost sell the kidney in one meal. Once the kidney is removed, it will be shipped to the buyer in the fastest way. In that case, I will have no chance. However, Doris still couldn't make a decision in her heart. After all, the price of wanting to keep this kidney source for her father is too great. Even so big that she needs to sacrifice everything yourself. Her own chastity, her own career, her own morals, and even her own life. Seeing her struggling expression, Walter smiled deliberately and said seriously, "Doris, since it is so difficult to make a decision for you, then forget it. Don't embarrass yourself anymore. I will tell the other party, I don't want this kidney. Now, let him sell it to the French, so as to save you from being so entangled and sad. What do you think?" As soon as the voice fell, Walter had already taken out his cell phone. Doris blurted out almost subconsciously, "No. Walter." "No." Walter smiled and asked, "What? Have you changed your mind?" As he said, Walter continued with a serious look, "Doris, in fact, the conditions I gave you are really very good. You don't have to resist so much. Give me your 10 years of youth, and the reward I give you, you will not be able to earn it back in 20 or even 30 years. After 10 years, you will only be in your 30s. There are opportunities to start your life again with a lot of cash. As for the children you give me in the next 10 years, if you think they will become a burden to you in the future, they can all be brought back to the United States. I can raise them. In this case, you will be a single woman worth hundreds of millions, even billions, 10 years later. In the words of ancient sages, it is a typical diamond king. At that time, countless young and handsome young men in their early 20s will kneel around you like dogs. Is there anything more wonderful in life?" Doris had no expression on her face and said nothing, but the mother on the sofa who hid her face and wept bitterly was already unbearable, covering her ears with her hands. She wanted to drive Walter out, or even fight out, but she had the same concerns as Doris. It was very easy to drive Walter out, but that was tantamount to closing the door for Doris's father to survive. Using the lives of the other's relatives as a threat, Walter can be said to have achieved the ultimate. Doris was silent for a long time and said, "Walter, if I promise to be your lover and come to work in your company, can you promise me not to force me to divulge any Emgrand Group business secrets?" When Walter heard this, he couldn't help but frown and asked, "You are a professional manager in the Emgrand Group. Why are you so loyal to this company?" Doris said seriously, "It is the bottom line of my professional ethics." Walter sneered, "Doris, your value to me has 3 aspects. The first aspect is your body, the second aspect is your ability, the third aspect is your value to the Emgrand. In my opinion, the mastery of the core secrets of the group is indispensable for these 3 aspects." Doris gritted her teeth and asked, "Does it have to be like this, Walter? I can promise you on so many nasty terms, can't you leave me with a little room for bargaining?" Walter laughed and said, "There is no bargaining room to leave, but the minimum principles cannot be lost. For example, I insist that none of these 3 aspects are indispensable, but if you have some opinions on the details of one aspect, we can discuss it." Having said that, Walter smiled lightly and said, "For example, I am a person who likes children very much. According to my plan, you and I will be together for at least 10 years. Give me 5 children, but if you think 5 children are too many, you can bargain with me. If you finally decide to give me 3 children, I think it's acceptable. This is the way I recognize the bargaining, do you understand?" Doris immediately scolded, "Walter, you are just a beast. Walter said with a smile. Thanks for the praise, my father has been teaching me, humans, be animalistic. He likes the famous saying of a science fiction author. For human beings, a lot will be lost if they lose their humanity, but if they lose their animality, they will lose everything. The reason why human beings can survive in such a cruel society and climb to the top of the food chain is based on animality. Are cows and sheep cute? They are cute, but in order to fill their stomachs, humans have to kill them and eat meat. Are foxes and minks not cute? They are also cute, but in order to withstand the severe cold, humans have to strip off their skins and make clothes. Humans like sashimi, so they take meat from living seafood. Humans like foie gras, so they fill the goose's stomach with food. Humans hate mice, so they will kill them all. Humans hate mosquitoes, so they will invest huge sums of money to develop various poisons that are only effective against mosquitoes. This is animality. To put it bluntly, all creatures with animal qualities are beasts. All beasts, so, to me, the beast doesn't mean anything to degrade, on the contrary, it is a kind of compliment to me. As he said, he stared at Doris with a sneer, and said, Doris, for the sake of the fact that we are classmates, I will help you again. Later, I will let my subordinates in the United States pay the kidney donor $20,000 as a deposit, and let him keep the kidney for me for 24 hours. This is the last 24 hours for you to make a decision. After 24 hours, if you still don't accept my terms, then prepare a funeral for your father. At that time, I will definitely buy the best wreaths in Orr's Hill and deliver them to the funeral home myself.